My name is David Jenney. I'm a Conservative councillor on both East Northamptonshire Council and Rushden Town Council. I sit on the Planning Policy Committee of East Northampton Council and I'm currently the Mayor of Rushden. I'm here tonight to make some general points on behalf of the Wellingborough and Rushden Conservative Association. Rushden and its hinterland lost its boot and shoe industry gradually in the late 1980s, which resulted in approximately 6,000 job losses. There was no dramatic here today, gone tomorrow decision that would attract government support, as in Corby. Instead, there was the general drip of firms transferring to cheaper labour markets out east. One also needs to bear in mind that following this loss, this part of Northamptonshire experienced extremely high levels of new housing, top 20 growth area in the country. The Barrington Road, Greenacre and Meadowsweet estates, totalling some 8,000 people, were all being developed as the industry fell into decline. To be clear, 6,000 jobs lost and 8,000 more people. Consequently, the town very swiftly moved from being one with an industrial base to being a dormitory, depending upon other towns to supply jobs for its population. I have attached to this proof a table recently produced by the Joint Planning Unit, which dramatically shows our problem. In North Northamptonshire, the ratio of homes to jobs is broadly neutral in Corby, Kettering, Wellingborough and the rural north of East Northamptonshire. The area particular to this inquiry, Rushden, Higham, Irthlingborough and Raunds, has 50% less jobs than homes. Kettering has done well off the back of the soon-to-be widened A14. Corby has had massive government support over the last 20 years. Government policy is to build more homes, which we fully support. Rushden has recently been designated as the first growth town in East Northamptonshire, with the possibility of an SUE expansion of 2,000 houses being built. Add to this the increased population as a result of Wellingborough East, due to commence on site shortly, and schemes already approved in Irthlingborough, Raunds and Rushden. There will be a further 10,000 homes built by 2031. This equates to building another town the current size of Rushden in 18 years. And this site, the one that we're discussing tonight, will be no more than 4 miles from any of these dwellings. Now that's fine, so long as the necessary employment opportunities are also created. The privately funded Rushden Lake scheme will assist in this process, as well as creating leisure and shopping opportunities for this massively enhanced population. We will be able to use Rushden Lakes as a key driver for the regeneration of the whole area. The Rushden Lake scheme will be complementary to Rushden High Street. The sizes of the modern shops provided will contrast sharply with the small units provided by our forefathers in the early 20th century. These shops are full of character and provide, and will continue to provide, the opportunity for both niche markets and local shopping. The shops on the high street, sir, are owned by a myriad of landlords, as you probably saw this morning, many of them absentee owners, as on any high street. In the last 20 years, the only really significant retail developments have been at Crown Park, Waitrose and Wicks, and Asda, all of which have been outside the town centre. Consequently, the town centre retains its original Victorian plan. Shops of 4,000 square feet, the largest in Rushden High Street, are just not large enough to attract national companies to the area, and therefore local people are forced to travel to either Milton Keynes or Peterborough to find large modern stores, not Northampton or Kettering. The advent of Rushden Lakes will ameliorate this need and therefore be a much needed sustainable development for East Northamptonshire. Sir, you have sat patiently through many dry theoretical points of evidence that our opponents have put forward. We're not really concerned about how many buses run from Northampton, but we are concerned about the people who live in this area, the people who have elected us as politicians to represent them. You have heard from MPs and an MEP from all the elected parties in this area. All of us politicians, minor or major, whichever ones you like, understand that 99% of the local populace desperately want this development to proceed, and it followed due democratic process by local people to its approval by East Northamptonshire Council's Development Control Committee. The government's agenda is for local democracy and development. In this part of East Northamptonshire, we are doing our best to support the government. We know from your own questions to Mr. Rhodes about the weight of opinion that should be given to the PINS postbag that you will consider that people of this area desperately want this deliverable scheme to proceed. I trust that you will recognise this in your report and accordingly advise the Secretary of State that the Rushden Lake scheme should be recommended for approval. And yes, sir, I'd be delighted to take questions.
Right. My name is Andrew Scarborough, and I'm the leader of the opposition Labour group at the Borough Council of Wellingborough. I'm here tonight to make two fairly quick points in support of the proposals for the Rushden Lake site. The first thing I want to make absolutely clear is that these proposals have the strong support of councillors of all parties at Wellingborough Borough Council. It came first to our planning committee, which voted overwhelmingly when consulted to make no objection to the scheme. And we then took a resolution to our full council, for the avoidance of any doubt, to make clear that the councillors of Wellingborough strongly supported this proposal. On this, we stand very firmly with our colleagues in East Northants, and it's something that crosses all parties. Not all councils in this county outside East Northants are opposing this proposal. Wellingborough believes it has very considerable merits. We think the current plans for Rushden Lakes, and there have been many plans over the years for Rushden Lakes, I hasten to add, will have very considerable strategic importance for the future prosperity of our borough. If this project proceeds successfully, we believe it will bring significant benefits in terms of job opportunities for local people, both during the construction period and even more once the site is open. It will also broaden the range of jobs available in our local economy, which is overly dependent on warehousing and distribution. I think these benefits are of particular importance at a time of prolonged austerity and public spending cuts. Our borough is steadily losing jobs at the moment, and local people are seeing significant reductions in their standard of living. This proposal has the potential to make a real difference to the lives of thousands of local people in terms of employment, and on that basis, it's clearly worthy of support. But as far as Wellingborough is concerned, there's much more than that as well. We believe that the plans to bring Rushden Lakes back into productive use after many years of dereliction. I've lived here since '87, and the site's been underused or unused for pretty well the whole of that period. It will also provide a much-needed stimulus to our long-standing plans to develop the area of Wellingborough East, also known as the Stanton Cross Urban Extension. We've heard earlier this evening that that's about ready to go, but it's been a very long time coming. It's a very large mixed-use development. It forms a major part of our overall strategic approach to bringing new homes and jobs to the borough, delivering our housing targets as well. It's been seriously slowed, and the successful development of Rushden Lakes in a location which will be very close to and easily accessible from Stanton Cross will radically improve the attractiveness of Stanton Cross as a place to live and work in the future. It will really give us the kickstart that we think we need. I would just add to conclude, if I may, that I've been a councillor on and off in Wellingborough Borough Council since '89. This scheme represents the best opportunity to kickstart some decent growth in this area that I've seen in my time on the council. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, sir. My name is Andrew Langley, and I'm the chairman of Destination Nene Valley Partnership, and was until May the county councillor for Erthingborough, and I have copies of our strategy document that I've handed. Our partners include the Wildlife Trust, the Environment Agency, the River Nene Regional Park, and the Rockingham Forest Trust, as well as the County, East Northants and Wellingborough councils. Ours is a very exciting project that has widespread support and seeks to develop the brand of the Nene Valley on a national basis to drive visitor and tourism interest whilst protecting and enhancing the natural environment. In keeping with our aims, the Rushden Lakes development is a perfect example of how you can manage growth and yet improve wildlife maintenance. The visitors that this development will attract will provide a major boost to our stakeholders, be they boat hire companies, restaurants, B&Bs, country parks, farm shops, the list goes on. Approximately 1 mile away will be the new Roman heritage site, Chester Farm, which is an archaeological find of national significance, which the County Council plans to develop into a visitor and educational attraction. To have Rushden Lakes so close and accessible via cycle paths along the corridor of the Nene River will be amazing. Cycle paths and walkways are an integral part of our vision, and other speakers have outlined the importance of the proposed Greenway extension. This new link could also dovetail brilliantly into the adjacent Bovis Homes development of 3,000 houses at Stanton Cross in Wellingborough. Boris bike type hire schemes with bike racks at key sites including Rushden Lakes, fully connecting the Nene Valley and its communities is one of our aims. The vision that we have adopted is essentially the green infrastructure chapter of the County Council's ARC strategy, which recognises the importance of sustainable growth. The Rushden Lakes development with the Wildlife Trust management does this in spades, ensuring that the site becomes an environmental haven as well as a vitally important economic hub, actually improving what is there currently. This development is so much more than a retail park. It offers a connectivity to the entire Nene Valley. It offers massive spin-offs for tourism and helps put the Nene Valley on the map. We are very much open for business and we want visitors to enjoy high-quality facilities like Rushden Lakes, surrounded by the natural beauty that we are so proud of. Mr. Chairman, if I may speak on a personal note, I am mystified as to why a democratically determined and unanimously popular local decision with full cross-party support has been called in for this hearing. The reasons against appear nothing more than an over-exaggerated fear of competition. And since when have we in this country interfered in this way to stop competition in a free market? A terrible message would be sent to the good people of East Northants if their interests and mandates were overruled by their neighbours. One that in effect said, you don't matter, you are subservient to those that live 15 miles away. Frankly, what would be the point of having an East Northants Council if Kettering, Northampton, Milton Keynes and Bedford held power over their actions? To deny such an economic boost to this area denies East Northamptonshire the ability to build and determine its own future. It would be a travesty and an unprecedented political slight to an entire community that would feel abandoned, isolated and without worth. So please do not underestimate the passion and the anger felt by the local community on this issue. Mr. Chairman, the case for granting planning for Rushden Lakes is overwhelmingly the right thing to do. This development should be allowed to proceed unhindered and without undue interference from those that do not live in the area. We look forward to you reaching the same conclusion, and I wish you well in your summation of this inquiry.